Welcome. We're here. We're back. We didn't have a show last Thursday because it was Thanksgiving. We were supposed to do a Thanksgiving show. I decided that I would rather spend that time in bed, sleeping, and I'm happy I did. It was a good mental break, I guess you could call it, from all this. So we didn't do a show last week. And then Sunday I did my show with John, which was simulcast on here and on DLF channel. So that was good. That's the last Sunday show though. That was a going away present. I appreciate everyone who's listened to the Sunday shows. I think that, and you'd probably agree, on Sunday morning, I think most people are looking for answers. They're looking for information. They're not looking for, it's one thing now. We have time. Sunday night on the recap, we have a lot of time.
All the time in the world.
Yeah, people want me to entertain them. It's supposed to be entertaining. I mean, this is supposed to be fun. But I think on Sunday morning, that dynamic kind of shifts. People want information. It's just the reality of the situation is I can give you a lot more information on Twitter when I answer in one word, and a lot more people see my answer. So, unless I were doing that show on Sunday morning on a much bigger platform, I mean, DLF was at least the show somewhat felt worth doing. But even there, like 100 people, 50, 60, 100 people viewing it is still not really enough when I know that thousands of people see my Twitter answers. So, I want to help the most number of people. I don't have to, I'm fine answering the questions on Twitter if that's more efficient. So we're going to be doing that going forward, and that's also going to give me a whole extra hour every Sunday morning to get to more of your questions, which I think is a great thing. So we don't have to force shows on here just for the sake of forcing them. But anyway, let's talk about this first comment. So from Jesse, let's go Taysom Hill. I think Taysom Hill is one of the big topics of discussion. Although we just skipped the part where we introduced you.
I've been here.
The people should know who you are.
People should know, right? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I come on. I start talking about nonsense. Like I talk about nonsense that has nothing to do with this week of anything, and I don't even know what I'm talking about. And then we don't even introduce the co-host. We don't introduce me. Tyler. Yeah. Whoa. I would expect you to know me because the channel's named after me, but we didn't introduce Ryan either. Ryan is great, by the way, if the people don't know. I think the people do know.
I think a couple of them do know.
Couple.
But yeah,
right.
I'm in on Taysom Hill.
You're in. How in?
Sort of, kind of, not a QB1, but I feel like I should. I put him at 13.
13? Okay. I put him at 10. 10.
I wanted to put him higher.
Yeah, I put him at 10. I like him. I like him a lot. I think it will be, personally.
I mean, what's Sean Payton going to game plan? Like, there's no Kamara. Like, MT's been out forever now.
Well, MT is never playing another down for...
Yeah, he's never playing another down for this team, but it's Mark Ingram and Taysom Hill, I guess.
Yeah, I would say so.
So, I think he's going to get a lot of carries.
Troutman's out, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, sucks. I don't know. I mean, Taysom Hill's a QB1 whenever he plays, so I'm good with it. I am good with it.
Yep. Top waiver pickup of the week, basically.
Yeah.
Waivers
are pretty thin right now.
They're very dry.
Yeah, I would say so.
Especially at this point in the year.
I'm
not looking forward to looking on the waiver wire Wednesday or seeing who I got.
I'd rather not. No. Okay. So I have some. Put your questions in the chat, but otherwise I have a lot about Taysom Hill. So this one, Kyler, Taysom, or Russ at quarterback?
I think you have to trust Kyler coming back. It's a good matchup against Chicago. I know after last year, after he got the shoulder injury, he wasn't as good pre-shoulder injury, but he's just so elite that you have to trust him. And if it doesn't work out, I mean, he just turn to Taysom Hill next week.
Yeah, where do you have Kyler?
I'm at 6.
I have him at 8, but I'd play him either way. Where do you have Russell Wilson?
I have Russell Wilson down there. I do not trust this offense at all. I've seen the implosion. I don't know how much the Monday night game you watched. It was,
Enough of it.
enough of it to know.
Yeah.
I have him at 17.
I also have him at 17.
I feel like it's the right spot. Like
we agree. We agree.
Bad.
He's been so bad. Yeah. He's going to be on another team next year. I think we know. I think we know that at this point.
Yeah, they're already starting the rumors to the Eagles. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's likely. Okay. From Jacob, question for tonight. Pollard, Ingram, or Melvin Gordon?
You got to play one tonight, right?
I mean, it's Ingram, right?
Yeah. But last I heard it was Melvin Gordon's 50-50 regardless.
Yeah, I don't even know if Gordon's going to play. It's a pretty good matchup if he does. But I have Ingram at 13, so
I'm at 19 and I have Pollard at 20.
Yeah, I have Pollard at 24. So I have Ingram at 13. So I'm playing Ingram with full confidence. I don't know why I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna get all the workload. I mean,
Tony Jones like shit. Kamara's out. I mean, what choice do they have?
They don't have any choice, but
yeah.
A little worried about losing goal line carries to Taysom Hill. I mean, that always has to be a proposition, but
I could be worried about that. But I'm also thinking that they're going to run the ball more because how are they possibly going to pass the ball?
They'll both get their shares. It's just who gets them at the goal line is going to matter the most.
Yeah. I'm playing Ingram with full confidence. So 13 is probably high. Probably one of the highest of anyone on Ingram.
I don't know how much I trust Pollard either because they said Zeke full workload, but I don't know how much I believe the coach speak.
I would play Zeke over Pollard if I was forced to choose. I have Zeke at 16 and Pollard at 24.
I have Zeke at 17, so I'm kind of right there with you. That's
Yeah.
kind of like the range where I hit where I'm like, ooh, I don't like this anymore. The confidence level decreased once I hit Zeke because of all this talk about.
Yeah.
It's just.
No, I get it. I mean, also, if they were down a receiver, I would be more likely to say that Pollard would get some more run, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They have everyone. So
Yeah, they have everyone tonight.
Jesse says starting Wentz over Russ this week. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have Wentz at Wentz at 13 and Russ at 17, which we agreed on. Where do you have Wentz?
14, one spot below you.
14. So very similar, but both over Russ. So
yeah,
I'm in on that. The matchup for Wentz is good against Houston. I mean, I'm fine with it. I do worry a little bit, though. They get so far ahead, and Wentz, if he's not a part of that, then he's not going to give you a disaster, but he could give you not a great game. So that's why I only have him at 13. I don't have him higher, but I do like the matchup in general, but you do have that risk. Okay. Foster Moreau or Everett. So at this point, I think it really doesn't matter for tonight, tight end wise. But at this point, I think we can assume that Darren Waller is not going to play. So I certainly ranked it that way. I ranked it as if Darren Waller's not going to play. So with that being said, I ranked Foster Moreau at 13. I did see some people saying that, Foster Moreau is just rank him where you rank Darren Waller. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Foster Moreau is just a guy. Just a guy doesn't just come in and replace one of the best tight ends in the league and you rank him in the same spot. It doesn't work that way. So, no, he's just a guy. I don't see it that way, but I ranked him at 13. Everett, I have way lower. So, it's easily Moreau.
I don't think he's just a guy. I think he's good, but he's not, Darren Waller, obviously.
Like, honestly, at tight end, I think Hunter Henry is just a guy. Foster Moreau better than that? No. So he's just a guy. He's not a difference maker.
I
Man, how many difference makers are there really? Kelsey, Andrews, Kittle on a good day. Pitts, Hawk, Gronk.
Gronk after last week, yeah.
And then that's kind of it. Waller.
Yeah, Waller plays.
But like Goddard, Gesicki, Knox, Freiermuth, or Thomas are like a little bit better than just a guy. But then you get to like Schultz. I think Schultz is just a guy. He's just in the perfect situation for him to succeed. I don't think Schultz is a materially better player than Henry. If you put Henry on the Cowboys and gave him Schultz's snap share, I think he'd do just as much, if not more, with it. So, I don't see Foster Moreau as anything more than just someone you can put in.
Yeah, the situation's going to get better when Gallup leaves this offseason.
So. Yeah, well, for Schultz, maybe. But Schultz is also a free agent. So
True.
Who knows what's going to happen. But I have Everett at 21, so I don't.
I put him at 20.
So.
He had a good week last week, but are you really going to trust the numbers that DK doesn't get those targets this week? Like,
you can't trust it. So Moreau here. Ooh. In a flex, play Zeke or Kittle? Huh.
Oh.
That's a good question.
This is a good question.
Probably Zeke. Yeah, probably Zeke.
It's close.
Not confident enough in Kittle to force him in over Zeke.
I mean, I want to go Kittle, but with the target share Ayuka's been receiving, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I have Kittle at 4.
So do I. I couldn't put him ahead of Andrews, Gronk, or Kelsey.
Yeah, I have Kelsey, Andrews, Gronk.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know who I believe more than.
This week, I just don't, given the way the tight ends line up, I just don't see myself wanting to flex a tight end unless the other option is really bad, or somehow I have Kelsey and Andrews. Maybe with Gronk, I would consider it. Kittle, I'm less into it. I would go Zeke. And then these other players, he has Andrews at tight end already, and Patterson, Connor, and Mitchell are way ahead of Zeke at running back. So this is your choice, and I would go with Zeke. I would.
Yeah, just okay. A little bit. It's tough.
How do we feel about Amari? So, like, just generally speaking, how do we feel about Amari?
I mean, 2 games off of COVID. We don't know how he's, like, generally feeling. Obviously good enough to play the sport, but I put him at 16 just because, like, that's where I felt.
You put him even higher than I did.
Yeah. I feel like I trust Dallas's passing attack a lot. And
yeah, so I don't have him that high. I have him at 21. ECR has him lower. ECR has him 27. And there was a lot of trepidation. I had a lot of Amari questions. They were almost all Amari with far lower players. I answered Amari every time. And there was a lot of pushback on that. You would have gone with Amari then easily. But at 21, I think is not a bad ranking. But I'm fine playing him. Amari is in that level of player that I expect him to be good. But we do know with Amari that if there's any little issue, he's not that great. So that's why I only have him at 21, not higher. The matchup is not awful. Could be worse.
I feel like that's like a tier, like how I did it last week, because like I have guys like Michael Pittman. I put D-Hop in there because I don't know if I trust D-Hop off the injury yet.
Yeah, I feel like I'm almost more confident in Nuke and his health, actually, than Amari.
I have them 2 spots apart, so I'm not that far apart in either of them.
Yeah, well, I probably have Nuke. Well, I have Nuke at 14.
I have him 2 spots the other way, so I have him at 18.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty confident in Nuke. He seems healthy. This is a good question here. So, Amari or Javonte Williams? It's tough. This is tough. This is really putting you in a brutal situation.
Wow, you can't wait.
Well, no, okay. So the thing with this is, here's what I would. Depends on what the other players on your team are. Yeah, this is going to depend on your other players on your team, because obviously, if Melvin Gordon sat, Javonte Williams would be. Just a quick peek at my rankings. Javonte Williams would be like RB.
I'd probably squeeze him at like 9. I'd probably squeeze him at 9.
8 or 9. So,
must start.
I would go Amari if I knew Melvin Gordon was going to play, but this is kind of dependent on what else you have, who your pivot options would be.
Yeah.
Is Kyler a slam dunk start this week coming off his ankle injury? My back from Taysom Hill. So we basically took a version of this question. I'd play Kyler.
Yeah. You got to risk it.
We're
getting close to playoffs.
I'm fine with that. Okay, from Spock. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. Sanders scoring. If Miles Sanders plays, it's Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it's Miles Sanders if he plays. I have Miles Sanders at 19.
I'm at 22.
Yeah. Where do you have Scott?
30, because I'm
at 27.
I feel like they're going to use him.
Same gap, just higher.
Yeah. I don't know.
I do think they're going to run the ball. I mean, you can run all over the Jets. That's why I have them both higher. So, but I would play Sanders between the two, no matter what the rankings are.
I agree.
Dan Quinn just said Zeke expected full role. Do you believe it? Yeah, I mean, I don't disbelieve it, but the matchup sucks, and I ranked him at 16. I thought that was reasonable. I mean, I'm not going to play him over guys like Gibson or Connor or James Robinson, Darrell Henderson if he plays against Jacksonville. I mean, Zeke wouldn't have been in the RB1 range even if there was no concerns. He probably would have been at 13. Instead, he's at 16. Not a major – I mean, really, if he were fully healthy, zero concerns, he'd probably be at 13. He would not be an RB1 this week. Honestly, I'm not sure he'd even be 13. He might be even lower. But I have him at 16.
I don't know if I believe it, but you have to play him anyway.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm not sitting him for those concerns. Thanks. You're welcome. Okay. Full point. This is a close decision, I think. For me, anyway, it is. I had this question.
Too.
I had this question on Twitter a couple of times, actually. A full point PPR, Damien Harris or Devonta Freeman?
So I'm assuming you have them one spot apart or something close to that?
I do.
I have them one spot apart as well. So
what are they for you?
25 and 26.
They're 25 and 26 for me also.
Oh, man. We don't even talk about this.
No, we don't talk about it.
We don't talk every time.
I have Freeman ahead.
Oh, see, I have him flip-flopped. I have Damien Harris.
So you have
disagree but agree. Kind of. It's close.
Isn't that kind of crazy? No, we're really very similar a lot of the time. But yeah, so that just goes to tell you that this is a toss-up. I don't know if there's anything that could come out that would change it, really. So, it is what it is. Take your pick.
The matchup's so brutal for Damien Harris, and like Devonta Freeman has Lamar. They working Latavius Murray sometimes.
The matchup's not good for Devonta Freeman either.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh is not good.
It's worse for Damien Harris. I know their stats are a little different, but JT altered that one a lot. So,
yeah, really though, like this week, I'm looking at I have Gaskin at 20, Jacobs at 21, Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 22, and then Gordon at 23 if he plays, so I'd be fine playing. Pollard, I'm okay with playing tonight, and then there's a cliff. Like, I do not want to play. Freeman is 25 and Harris is 26, but they're way, way off. Like, I'm going to want to play wide receiver threes over them, for sure, in most PPR formats. From Damien, Kyler or Cousins? Kyler. Kyler. Where do you have Cousins?
9.
I have him at 11, so, but still Kyler. Okay. Someone offered a third-round pick for Mike Glennon and Daniel Jones. 12 teams to flex. Yeah, take it.
Yeah.
Take the third-round pick. Yes, just take what you can get. He was worth nothing, so you had nothing, and now you have something. Yeah. That's how you win in Dynasty. I do this all the time. Pick up players off the waiver wire and just offer them to every single team. It's ruthless, and people get annoyed at me for doing it, but I don't care. That's how people always wonder. Then we get to draft. Oh, why does Tyler have all these extra third and fourth round picks? Well, because I work. All right. From Andrea, Michael Gallup or Brendan Ayuk, PPR. I think this is easy.
Ayuk, pretty
Ayuk,
easy.
You have Ayuk where?
24.
I have him at 19. So I'm even very high on Ayuk because with Debo out, I mean, I'm not saying an obstacle, really. I mean, Debo was the obstacle. And I think that Ayuk is completely integrated into the offense. So I'm good with it. Good with Ayuk.
Yeah, I agree.
Gallup, I have all the way down at 33. So
Yeah, I have him at 37. I have him lower. With how high I have Amari, so.
Yeah, no, that explains it because I have Amari about 5 spots lower and Gallup about 4 spots higher. So
makes sense.
Pretty much. Yeah, no, if you actually look through my rankings and yours, the logic makes sense. We talked about this.
Yeah, just take that.
Okay. So 3 players. Pick 3 of these from Grant. Gaskin, Pollard, Jacobs, or Eli Mitchell. Well, we don't need to ask about Eli Mitchell anymore. Eli Mitchell is a start. Where do you have him?
I have him all the way up at 5.
I have him at 6. So very similar. But Eli Mitchell is not a question. You and Andrea says thanks for before, but Eli Mitchell's not a question. So you'll start Eli Mitchell. Then the rest of these are more interesting. So the problem is that Jacobs was put on the injury report today, and we don't like being added. That's bad. We don't like being added to the injury report in the middle of the week. That we don't like that. That's not good. Not good. So you're in a bind here because I don't know what your pivot option is if you leave Pollard out and then Jacobs doesn't play. What are you left with? How bad is that? You see?
Yeah.
So
it's tough.
I need more information about who would go in if you left Pollard out and then Jacobs didn't play, because a late add to the injury report with an ankle is very bad. Limited, let's go over again what limited in practice means. Limited in practice could mean anything from 1% of practice to 99%. Usually when someone is added to the injury report with a limited designation, that means that they were injured in mid-practice. So they're listed as limited because they practiced up until the point where they got hurt, and then they hurt themselves and they sat out the rest of practice, and they get a limited designation for that day. If Jacobs is DNP tomorrow, then he won't play. Problem is, you have to make a decision now, and you don't have complete information. We just have one sleeper report that said he hurt his ankle in practice today. We're not going to know. So you've got to
pivot, though. I'm okay with the pivot.
I'm okay with it. I'd probably just play Pollard and just deal with it because I'm very nervous. I don't want to wait.
You rolling with Pollard over Jeudy? He posted his.
Jeudy. Oh, okay. Jeudy is fine then. Jeudy is fine then. So if Judy's your pivot, then leave Pollard out and wait for Jacobs. And if Jacobs doesn't play, put Jeudy in. So then you're fine. Dallas Giants or the Washington DST? Well, we don't do a lot of DST questions, but I'm certainly fine playing Dallas tonight against depleted New Orleans. Giants, I'm not doing that. And Washington is against Vegas. Nah. I'll go with Dallas.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs will get a pick somewhere,
Okay, so this is a good dynasty concept for Spock here. So players like Jamar Jefferson, they're not worth anything. You're always better off. I always want to be able to go into the draft and choose the player I want over being assigned Jamar Jefferson. I don't want Jamar Jefferson. I want to choose the player I want in the 3rd round. Or when you get on the clock in a rookie draft, you can sell that pick for value because it sells the option to whoever you're selling it to pick whoever they want at that time. And it carries more value right at that very moment. So always, always, always you want 3rd round picks, even 4th round picks over guys like Jamar Jefferson. 5th round picks is where it starts to get worthless. But
I'm looking back. If you got extremely lucky this past year, that.
Well, no, I know who you could have gotten. Yeah, you could have gotten Ramondre Stevenson in Superflex leagues in the 3rd. You could have in the 4th picked Elijah Mitchell in the early 4th or the late 3rd. There are many opportunities that you had to get players of value at that time. There have been many years. Philip Lindsay, I think he was a 5th round pick in 2018, 5th rounder. James Robinson, a couple years ago, was often went off as a 5th round pick at some point. I mean, there are many players that you can get at that time, but it doesn't even matter. You're selling the value of that selection to someone else. Like, the selection has value at that time, even if you don't want to spend it.
Yep.
So
exactly.
take
Someone's always going to want to make that pick.
That's correct. Because rookie fever, people fall in love.
Oh, every year.
Every year it happens.
We're starting the cycle again. Remember, earlier in the year, it's like,
no, the 2022 class sucks, and then
now everyone's coming
it doesn't.
Around.
All right, Miles Sanders or 2022 second mid late for James Robinson.
I take James Robinson.
I will take James Robinson. I do not want Miles' failure on my team.
No.
Again, now Miles Sanders is okay. He's fine. I don't think he's going to be out of the NFL next year, but I think that he's more similar to someone like Devin Singletary than he is to like Joe Mixon. Like maybe Devin Singletary is a tiny bit harsh, but like I think that Miles Sanders is a borderline starter NFL wise. Probably one of the 32 best running backs on planet Earth. Probably not one of the 20 best. So just not that interested. James Robinson, I think, is more talented. And I'm more afraid of the Eagles just being like, we just don't like you, Miles Sanders. We're gonna be done with you, rather than the fear of Travis Etienne. I'm more scared of the Eagles just deciding that Miles Sanders is not for them. So I will take James Robinson, who is younger as well.
I mean, every year in the field, the Eagles basically say that.
That's true. Yeah, they say with their play that they don't like Miles Sanders. And I think they're a little harsh on Miles Sanders. I don't think he's the worst running back in the world. I think they treat him harsher than I would. But he is just a competent starter with plenty of warts. Nothing more. Jamal Williams will be no. This is too much speculation. Like, no, you don't know that. Jamar Jefferson is a 7th round pick. He could not make the team next year. Yeah. He has no value.
Pick someone else.
I also like Godwin Ekwebike. Just keep that name in mind. Godwin Ekwebike. Keep that name on the back of your mind. Just in case. How do I feel about Elijah Mitchell's future? Well, how do you feel about Elijah Mitchell's future? How do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good because I don't think the 49ers are going to spend that kind of capital again. And keep in mind, they didn't spend it on Mitchell. They spent it on Trey Sermon, who, immediately busted. You're not going to spend 2 straight day 2 picks. I know the Rams did it a couple years back, I believe.
They did, yeah. Henderson and Akers.
Yeah, but I just don't think the Niners are going to build a team like that, honestly. I think Elijah Mitchell is safe for next year.
I do think that, what are they going to do? I don't think they're going to release Trey Sermon. I think they're going to find some use for him on their team. Usually the 49ers have 3 active running backs, and, sometimes they have use check. So they're either going to my guess is they're probably going to re-sign Jeff Wilson, and they're going to move forward with those 3 next year. That would be my guess. I think they're more like, I think Mostert is just injured too many times. I think he's kind of cooked. But I think Jeff Wilson is, in the game he played, he was fine. Jeff Wilson was he special? No. But Jeff Wilson probably deserves a job in the NFL as a backup, sort of. So definitely. I expect them to just re-sign him. And he's no threat to Mitchell whatsoever. I have Mitchell ranked in Dynasty. This might be a hot take, but I'd rather have Elijah Mitchell than David Montgomery, James Robinson, Josh Jacobs, and most notably Aaron Jones.
I fully agree on all 4 of those guys. So
yeah,
I think the future looks bright for Elijah Mitchell.
It does.
He had 32 touches last week.
He's getting work in the
passing. Never does this.
He's getting work in the passing game, though. That's the key piece he wasn't getting earlier. Now he's getting that part. So when you add that part in, all of a sudden he's a reliable fantasy asset. Okay, what's going on with Devonta Smith and Jamar Chase right now? Nothing? With Jamar Chase, I mean, it's a few down games. I'm not hitting a panic button.
Higgins is
Devonta
bound to get his.
Smith, I can understand some more concern. Well, you're the Eagles fan. What's going on with Devonta Smith?
Well, you see, you know what's going on with Devonta Smith. He was
I haven't burned down Nick Sirianni's flower garden yet, so we have not solved
yet. Like Jalen Hurts just didn't look his way in the last 2 drives. He had 0 targets. It's no concerns about Devonta Smith the player. Devonta Smith the player gets open frequently, but I don't know what was going on with the Eagles scheme, team, whatever. Throwing to Jalen Reagor there. I don't know what's going on, but I wouldn't be concerned. Devonta Smith is a fantastic player. They just got to give him the ball more. Honestly, that's what it is.
I have some concerns, though. Like, I unfortunately do not think that Devonta Smith is good enough to overcome. I don't think he's a superstar. I don't think he's overcoming bad situations. Kind of like how Jerry Jeudy is not quite good enough to do that either. I think they're similar on a talent level. I actually probably think Jerry Jeudy is a little bit more talented, but his situation is far worse. But they're just not at the level where they can overcome the deck being stacked against them. And the deck is stacked against Devonta Smith. So, I hold that against him in Dynasty. I would, I would rather have, obviously I'd rather have Michael Pittman, but I'd rather have Elijah Moore over Devonta Smith. I'd even rather have T. Higgins at this point over Devonta Smith. I have more hope for T. Higgins. T. Higgins is younger than Devonta Smith. I have more hope for T. Higgins actually turning it around. He did in the last game. Whereas I feel like Devonta Smith, the T. Higgins ceiling is Mike Evans to Chris Godwin. That's T. Higgins ceiling, is a low-end wide receiver 1. Whereas I'm not sure I ever see Devonta Smith hitting that with Jalen Hurts as his quarterback. That might not be possible. So I have some concerns with Devonta Smith, personally.
Yeah, I understand that, but the Eagles' quarterback situation is throwing everyone for a loop because remember last week it was Hurts is the unquestioned starter for the going forward, and then he threw 3 picks, and now everyone's questioning again, and there's rumors.
But even when Hurts playing well still does not provide a lot of volume to the receivers. That's the problem.
Oh no, I'm saying about replacing him.
No, but even if Hurts, the problem is Hurts was good for the NFL when he was throwing less. So that's a big problem. If what was working for the Eagles was to throw the ball less, that is a major red flag. That's how they were winning, was throwing the ball less and running more. And if that was what was working, it was the Ravens all over again. Passing didn't work. Running was more successful. So now that is a problem for Devonta Smith's value. Because again, not good enough to overcome a bad situation. Though he is very good. I don't want people to hear that I don't think Devonta Smith is good. I think if Devonta Smith traded places with Jalen Waddle, I think he'd be having a great rookie year. Much, maybe not quite as good as Waddle because Waddle fits that role better, but I think he'd be very successful if he were taking Waddle's role in Miami. He'd be a little bit different, but I think he would have a much better year than he does now. Thanks for your input. Appreciate you both. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Okay. Need 3 in PPR of this grouping. J-Rob, Pittman, Jamal Williams, Elijah Moore, and Javonte Williams. So, okay. What about J-Rob? Where do you have him? We haven't talked about him this week.
I have J-Rob at 13.
I have him at 11. So I think I would play him.
Yeah, I think he's a lock. I think
Pittman,
we're locking Pittman.
Among wide receivers?
I have Pittman at 17.
I have him at 13. So higher. But Jamal Williams, what about him? Swift won't play. So Jamal Williams.
I'm at 15.
17. So similar. Elijah Moore?
I have Elijah Moore. Zach Wilson is projected to start at least now, I believe.
He will start, yeah.
Yeah, so I bumped down Elijah Moore for that, and ridiculous as it sounds, it's just the truth at this point.
Yeah.
I'm at 33.
I have him 27. And Javonte?
I have Javonte at, where's he at? 18.
So do I. Yeah, actually 18 exactly. So So for me then, and I think actually we would agree, it would be the first three.
Yeah.
Unless Melvin Gordon doesn't play, in which case we would both put in Javonte instead of Jamal. But this is the same answer based on both of our rankings. And I do like also on this show that since it's only a Thursday night game, there are some questions, but honestly, in tonight's game, how many questions are there really? You're starting Lamb, you're starting Dak, you're probably starting Zeke. Start Cooper and Pollard if you have to. Probably don't want to start Gallup. You can if you have to. Schultz is probably your tight end starter. Taysom Hill was most of the questions. Ingram is a start. You're not starting any Saints receivers or any Saints tight ends. So there's not that many questions about tonight's game. So we get to talk about some other things. Like this question.
Melvin Gordon.
Well, Melvin Gordon,
biggest question mark for Sunday.
That's true. But we'll have more information on that later. Yeah. So is Daniel Jones done after this year? Well, I'm the resident Giants fan. Yeah. I would say yes. Yeah, I think he is. I think at the very least you'll see a Mitch Trubisky 2020 thing where they bring in a replacement and they might let him start a couple of games and see if he somehow turns it around, and if he doesn't, turn to the replacement. But I would say yeah, he's on the way out.
Yeah, I agree. Especially they have 2 high picks right now.
Yeah, so, I think they're going to decline his 5th-year option.
They should.
Yeah. Who are some dynasty buy lows? Jerry Jeudy. Always. That's a big one. Oh, Rondale Moore and Kadarius Toney are both dynasty buy lows for me. Players where I believe in the talent, but it just hasn't quite come together recently, who are still young. You got any good ones?
I'm looking around here. I mean,
Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins.
They're injured running backs. I don't think you could buy low on Michael Gallup because I think everyone knows he's leaving.
Oh no, you definitely still can. There are some people who don't like Michael Gallup.
You still can, then I'd throw that one in there because he's good as gone. There's no way they're resigning.
Oh yeah, no, he's not going to be back there.
He made some money on Thanksgiving with that game.
Yeah.
So, I think that's Chase Claypool for where he's been ranked routinely.
Yeah, Chase Claypool's not a bad one.
And then Cortland Sutton, I think the quarterback situation gets better. I think it gets better.
No. Cortland Sutton is – I have Cortland Sutton ranked he's dropped in my rankings. He's taken a tumble. He's below Michael Gallup. Yeah, no. Not Cortland Sutton. He's as toxic as they come to me.
I know this isn't a buy low, but send out trade offers for Trevor Lawrence. You never know.
That is a buy low, though.
Yeah.
Oh, and do not buy low on Terrace Marshall. Don't waste your time.
I didn't suggest it, even though I was really high on him coming out of college.
Yeah.
I'll take my L there.
I'm low on him, so I'm looking for a reason, but I think a healthy scratch is a good reason. I do want to mention Kene Wangu.
Yes.
Not that that's a buy low, but that's someone I would look to sneak onto my team. Pro tip.
He's going to get his
running back from Minnesota. Trade away Teddy Bridgewater for Daniel Jones, 12-team Superflex. I guess.
Sure.
I don't know you're accomplishing much with this, but I guess I would take my chances on Daniel Jones.
I think Daniel Jones has a better chance to start somewhere else than Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know if either number's high, but if you compare the two, I think Daniel Jones is just higher. Yeah. I don't know by how much, but
Daniel Jones. All right, I'm hurting at wide receiver. Should I start Traquan Smith tonight? No. Or go with Bourne or Bateman? That would be better. Could also pick up Sanders, Crowder, Slayton, or not Duvernay or Slayton. So what pick from this group here?
I'm rolling with Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne. Where do you have Bourne?
I have Bourne at 34.
I have him at 35. So almost exactly the same. What about Bateman?
A couple spots behind at 38.
I have him at 36. So I'd go with Bourne. His production is not really repeatable. I mean, he doesn't have the snap share, doesn't have the targets, but he's scoring. So, yeah. Kendrick Bourne for both of us there. Not Traquan Smith, though. Not Traquan Smith. With Taysom Hill, the downfield threat is a hard pass for me. Chris Reynolds, hope you're not eating for this one. Well, luckily I'm not. PPR, Bourne, Bateman, Reynolds, Shepard. If he plays Shepard, he did get in a limited practice today, so it's possible he plays. Seems like it's more likely he plays than Kadarius Toney. But we answered this already because it's between the same top two and it's Bourne again.
Yeah.
Well, Born again. Born again. You're like that.
We're picking Shepard, right? If he plays. Along with that?
Pick 2? No, I'd go Bateman again. Shepard's not going to play. And if he does, he's going to be very limited. From Andrew, is Darrell Henderson going to play? I mean, Sean McVay says he's going to play. It wasn't like, I hope he's going to play. It was, I expect him to play.
Yep.
So as of now, I would say yes. So as of now, I would say yes. I have a guy desperate for a win. Might give him package with Jones and Glennon and one more piece for Fields. I think Fields is going to play this week, personally. So I don't know why they would do that. I don't want to play Jones or Glennon at all. I mean, you can try that, but I don't think that's going to work.
Hey, you know they say shoot your shot.
Honestly. Shoot your shot, but I don't think that
it's from across court, but shoot it anyway. Yeah,
I don't think this will accomplish anything, but you can try. Do I think Carson Wentz will be the Colts' future quarterback for years to come? No. They'd be better off without him. They'd be better off. He's not the reason that they're winning, and he's not the reason that they're losing. He exists. He's like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's fine. Acceptable. But you get stuck in this situation. What do you do if you have the 22nd best quarterback? It's not good enough to replace, but not bad enough to replace him, but not good enough to really be a franchise quarterback moving forward.
Yeah, it's a really difficult situation.
You kind of get stuck in a bind there.
Well, we've talked about this before. Like
a lot.
Is this year and definitely next year with all the draft capital they invested in them.
The money, yeah.
There's a lot tied up. So it's at least 2 years.
No promises to him after 2022, really.
Yeah.
We did your question. Yeah. Kendrick Bourne. I told you.
Kendrick Bourne and Bateman. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, yeah, and Bateman. Yeah.
No, that was a separate one.
But they were
the same players.
Yeah. I like the potential for Reynolds. With lack of options and chemistry and with Goff, I'm not sure I have the just points. Thanks for taking the question. Yeah, no, we're not playing Reynolds. You can play Reynolds. I mean, he shares a last name with you, but no, we're not going to do that. I have Reynolds at. I ranked him. I have him at 62.
I didn't squeeze him in. I did top 55, so I squeezed him in.
Yeah, I have him at 62. I squeezed him in as one of the last ones, but not sure. Okay, thoughts on Chubb for Jacobs and a 23 first. I'm competing, but I don't really need Chubb, and I'm trying to be proactive. I mean, if you're competing, I don't really like it now that Jacobs is hurt now. So if you're rebuilding, I think I'd be fine with this. This is another one of those things where it's like, if I'm rebuilding, is this deal I want? No. Is it better than making no deal? Yes. So, Jacobs is probably going to be around for another year or two. So, but yeah, the value here is fine. It's fair. I mean, Chubb really isn't worth more than that. So, yeah. But in competing, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Elijah Moore, Michael Gallup, or Nuke?
You got to go with DeAndre. Gotta risk it at least.
Jamar Jefferson, sleeper of the week? No. Jamal Williams is the guy. Tua or Hill?
Taysom.
Are you talking about Tua at all? I don't think so. Where do you have Tua?
I have Tua at 15, so not far behind.
I'm at 14, but I would go with Hill.
You've been playing well.
Yeah. Pollard or Javonte Williams?
Javonte.
Whether Gordon plays or not. Still Javonte. Cooper or Gallup, choosing between the two?
Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper. Start two of these: Ingram, Sanders, Freeman.
Ingram and Sanders.
Ingram and Sanders. Ingram or David Montgomery?
Ingram.
Yeah. Same. Zeke, Gibson, or Damien Harris? I mean, McKissick is missing time, and that's something we haven't talked about yet. McKissick is missing time in the concussion protocol. So I have Gibson at RB9.
Yeah, I have him at 10. So got to rock with Gibson this week.
Yeah, with McKissick out, I mean, McKissick was taking work in the last game, and he scored 2 touchdowns before he went down. With McKissick out, Gibson is a rock-solid RB1. Taysom Hill tonight or Matt Ryan is my QB2. Matt Ryan is a never. So Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
I don't care what the scoring is. Matt Ryan is a no-go. Henderson, Javonte, or Pollard. Well, you can just leave Pollard out and wait to see if Gordon plays. If Gordon sits, go Javonte. If not, go Henderson.
200% agree.
Some of these are not. None of these were that hard. I need 3 of these. DK. Oh, we haven't talked about DK yet. DJ Moore, we also haven't talked about. Higgins, we also haven't talked about. And Lamb. Lamb is tonight. So where do you have Lamb?
I have Lamb all the way up at 8.
I'm at 11. So he's my first choice of this group. Then what about DJ Moore, who's not playing this week?
I didn't rank him.
Yeah, he's on a bye. That's weird.
I looked at my ranks. I didn't see DJ Moore.
It's whatever. I probably got very confused here when I was answering this question. Well, whatever. So the decision's made for you. I'm out of it. Okay. How are you feeling about Zeke with the knee? We talked about that. Pick 2 of these: Zeke, Gaskin, Monty, or Ingram.
I'd probably go Gaskin and Ingram.
Oh, I would go Monty and Ingram. I don't trust Gaskin.
You have to
flex play Cooper or Knox.
I go with Cooper.
Cooper, yeah, I'll go Cooper. Okay, Schultz tonight or Pitts? How do you feel about Pitts?
It's hurting.
Where do you have Schultz?
I have Schultz at 9 and I have Pitts at 6.
I have Pitts at 6, but Schultz at 7. But it's Pitts still.
It's tough.
Wait,
it's getting tough out.
And then this week, Schultz again or Thomas?
Logan Thomas.
Take Schultz. I have Thomas at 12. Schultz at 7.
I'm very high on Thomas this week.
I just haven't bought in yet. And OBJ or Melvin Gordon? OBJ. Especially with Gordon injured.
Yeah. OBJ looked good last week.
Cooper tonight or Mooney Sunday?
I go Cooper, but I like Mooney a lot.
I don't like Mooney that much. I'm concerned. Callaway or Pitts in the flex?
Yeah, you got to. I know Kyle Pitts has been struggling.
It's not Callaway, so Pitts. Callaway is completely unusable.
He's been struggling, but the upside is just.
Go back to Pitts one last time. Pick 2 here: Zeke, Pollard, Jeudy. Assuming this is PPR, I'd go Zeke and Jeudy.
Yeah, I agree.
That's half or standard. I'd consider Pollard. Schultz or Hawkinson?
Hawkinson's going to get it back on track.
I really hope so. I have Hawkinson at 5.
I'm at 7.
So I hope so. Dak tonight or Brady?
Brady.
Yeah, where do you have Brady?
1.
I have him at 1 also.
Such an easy play.
It's almost like we planned this, except we don't.
No, I
have Brady at 1. Where do you have Dak?
I have Dak at 7.
Dak at 6. So, no, I actually think that they're going to be forced to throw the ball because the New Orleans, run defense is pretty good, and Zeke is hurting. I think they're going to go to the pass more with all the receivers back. They have all receivers now, so I think all receivers is going to make a difference for Dak. I do. I think having everyone is going to make a difference. So I'm comfortable playing him at 6.
Yeah,
but Brady is 1.
Yes. On a tear.
Yeah,
Atlanta is
with Gronk back too has really made a big difference.
I don't know if they're going to keep it close. I don't think they will, but
still though,
you never know. Cordell Patterson.
You don't know if New Orleans will keep it close either. Gallup, Bateman, or Deshaun Jackson? Deshaun Jackson is not. I can't play Deshaun Jackson.
I'm gonna go. I think I have Gallup by a slot. Yeah, Gallup by a slot.
Yeah, I have Gallup also. Zeke or Mattison?
I go Alexander Mattison.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Alexander Mattison. Where do you have him ranked this week?
Number 8.
I have him at 7. I have Zeke at 16. So easily Mattison. Madison is a must play this week if there's any doubt. There should not be. Detroit is a excellent matchup. Yeah, no, I'm maybe I missed that when I was putting the question in. Tired.
I thought I missed something. I looked at it.
Yeah,
I was like,
what
great.
did I miss?
Here we go.
All right, we'll get to these last few in the chat. Favorite buy low player, we talked about that earlier. Scroll back about 20 minutes on the video when we talked about buy lows. But a rebuild strategy, I'll talk about that more in the offseason when I have more time, but quick one, acquire young players, trade all your running backs, acquire picks because those don't get hurt and don't lose value. And build around stud young quarterbacks and superflex. But yeah, get rid of older players is really the key. Waller putting me in a bind. Waller won't play, so he won't play. So you got to plan as if he's not going to.
I can see why he's in a bind though.
Yeah, well, these options are very bad. O'Shaughnessy, Brevin Jordan, Doyle, Uzama, Rudolph Graham. I have Uzama ranked the highest of this bunch, but
yeah, but it's 21 is not that high. So
I have Uzama at 23, Doyle at 24. None of the others made my list.
I didn't have any of the others ranked either.
Yeah, so Uzama, I guess, but
I hope he scores a touchdown and breaks one.
Uzama's been phased out of the offense recently. Concerns about Mooney's dynasty value? How about rest of the season? No, I mean, I like him, but I just don't think he's an alpha type player. I think he might be a little bit overvalued. But it depends on how valued he is. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell in the middle of a season how valued someone is.
Definitely.
He's not traded a lot, though. I don't have him moved.
I haven't seen many Mooney trades.
So, okay, we got to all the questions. So, thanks to everyone for who tuned in. I posted a link to my Patreon recently for anybody who is interested, and I will put the link right here at the bottom. There it is. So you're very welcome.
I was going to point. I was messing up the pointing again.
Yeah,
go stop to that. I'm not going to point because I'll point in every which.
It's right there. So there's a link to my Patreon. Jesse says thanks. You're welcome. So yeah, just click on that. If you get to the bottom of the video, it should be right there for you. I can also put in the comments, which I actually will do. And then we'll miss you on Sunday, but I'll still be there. I'll actually be answering more of your questions, not doing the show, than I would be doing the show. So I'll actually be there for you even more than I would have.
We'll be on late night too.
It's true, yeah.
Everything.
And I'll have more energy, and I won't be a zombie doing that show like I've been last weekend. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, everyone, tonight. And I will put the link to the Patreon in the comments as well if you missed it in the live chat. Yeah, it's a good time to sign up. It's near the beginning of a month, so that's when you get the best value. Good luck to everyone. Enjoy tonight's game, and I will see you Sunday night at midnight-ish.
Whenever the game.
Whenever it ends. Yeah.
Whenever it decides to end.
Whenever it decides to end. All right. Peace.